back on a Monday, Ryan Feathers Elite. Oh, Pioneer Racing Pigeon Club. Monday. Sorry, pigeons come late today. That's why we're here. Better late than never, as some would say. You got me, and you've got Ricky, and you've got Ricky, and you've got me. Reminder, guys, this show works best when you participate. If you are complaining about the lateness, it's okay. We were trying to get the vision to look better than it looks today, but it's okay. We're just going to make it go that way, and it'll be fine. Oh, welcome to the show, Ricky.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
Cheers to you.
Thank you very much. I hope the weather is good there for you. We got a little bit of spring weather here today.
It's raining.
I know people locally had eggs hatching, but they had cold weather. They're covered quite well.
Yeah, a lot of eggs are hatching. Eggs are hatching, and birds are continuing to develop. But yeah, the weather here is shit. Today it rained. I swear, I think it must have rained 5 feet. It was equivalent to a blizzard. It's just in rain.
Oh, I know what you're saying. The last time you and I were over there, and they said, we got 2 hours to drive to, I think it was Ghent. And they said, no, don't go. We're going to get rain. And we thought, wow, not a big deal. We just put the wipers on and keep driving. Wow. Rain. It was like the downpour for a steady 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Hey.
But hey, so it is, you know.
That's incredible. Yeah, they got a lot of rain here. When they get the rain, boy, they get the rain. But anyways, that's we're not part of the weather here. But so guys, sit back tonight, enjoy your show. You know, I'm sometimes I'm blaming the wrong problem. And what's the problem? I blame the one-loft races a lot of the time. I'm blaming the one-loft races. Oh, the guy doesn't do the work. Oh, the guy doesn't do this. Oh, the guy don't do that. I figured out what it is. It's the quality of pigeons in the races. That's the problem. It's the quality of the pigeons. And you can really notice it this weekend at the Florida Pigeon Derby. I mean, the speeds of I seen birds going through on the video, and I got to give them credit for that. The basket 3,400 birds, and they have people handling them and putting them through, and I got shit in my teeth. It's driving me crazy. And the birds look real good. You can see they look good. I mean, we don't handle them, but they sure got a nice look to them, a nice shine to them. And I looked at the race, and the race flew at 1390s was the speed. The first birds that come, 7 together. And they put from 353 miles with slight 7-mile-an-hour headwind, which wasn't 7 miles an hour if they're flying 1390, but okay, they could have had 7 miles an hour at the end. And I look, and there's 1,100 birds clocked on the day out of 3,400. It's not even a hard race. I mean, it's not tough. I mean, shit. If you sent 30 of your pigeons to a 350-mile race, and you're flying 1390s, and you've taken them from 100 miles right up to 300 miles, you'd expect a hell of a lot better returns. So I can't figure out why they're not coming. And then I looked 12 days prior to that same race, they let out 4,600 birds from 270 miles, and they got 2,500 home on the day, but they still dropped, I think it was 1,100 birds. And I'm really thinking a lot of people, they're sending out of pigeons that have absolutely zero quality. It's gotta be, because not, come on. That's my thought on this. I don't know what everyone thinks, but I get mine screwed up. And if you take a look at it, 270 miles, they flew 1,421. They got 2,800 birds on the day. It took them only, 65 miles further, and the birds just fell apart. Only got 1,100 home on the day. So there's got to be some type of quality deficiency. But when I go looking on a lot of, and I'm going to use this North American sites, right? And I'm using that. People are just dumping pigeons, and people are just sucking them up, sucking them up, sucking them up. And I kind of go to myself, geez, I don't know. People better start thinking, because they're going to run out of money donating them to these races. They're just making the race guy rich, and the winner's rich. But I'm going to use Big Andy. Big Andy was equal first. I looked at that. That was a pedigreed pigeon. Pigeon that had the powers to do it. I didn't look at the other ones. I just roughly glanced through. But again,
Well,
for
I think
quality.
you've got a good point there. I think you have a good point. Um, you got to also consider what happened on that day. Let's just help the birds out and say, well, there could have been a falcon come through there, shook them up real bad. Let's look at, we could say that, but I do think you have a good point. I mean, we're looking at, for example, a Big Andy fella. I don't know what the name of his race is, but last year in those final races, the person by the name of Chris Marshman, she buys high quality pigeons, and she entered a few teams in that race, and I'm telling you, they showed. Take a look at excuse me, my dog just barked. Take a look at Ian Sybil. He's been in our race. He's been in other one-loft races, local. He also um, he makes his mark. He makes a good mark, and
Hold
he
on,
has bought
hold on.
high quality pigeons.
We're not, and I'm not talking about people buying pigeons from me or from us. No, I'm not talking about
No,
that.
no, no,
I'm
no, no,
talking.
no. I'm not going to say. Hold on a minute. I'm not going to say. I shouldn't say they bought high quality. They have high quality pigeons. However way they got them, they're great quality birds. Okay, they're of a higher quality than than uh, you know. I
Look,
hate to say it, a backyard pigeon flyer.
I got some questions here. So John says, "Sir, is it true that you shouldn't breed two pigeons with two different eyes, or doesn't matter?" Okay, you don't want to sort of put the same colors together, but all eyes are going to be different. I've seen guys here that put the same ones together, but then they look at you and say, "Are they really the same?" I think contrast is key. Change it up a bit, change the body structures up, stuff like that. You look at. Mike Vanderjak's going to argue this point. I think you are way off, Ryan. I don't know if I'm way off. Now you have to. That's a what I call, Mike, a beautiful blanket statement. Ryan, I think you're way off. Why? Why would that be way off? I mean, hell, Ricky, this year, right? I want you to go down Bloomington Road, and I want you to go find me a horse. There's how many horses along Bloomington? I don't give a shit if it jumps, if it stands in the
Right.
field. I want you to get it, and we're going to take her to the Kentucky Derby. We're going to see what we can do with that thing. And we're going to get Mr. Bafford there, the best trainer in the world, the best one. We're going to say, Mr. Bafford, I want you to train this horse jumper, this cart horse, this standing in the field horse. I want you to train it to win. I want you to get the best out of it. That's what I want to see. I wonder what he would say. He's going to look at me and say, you want to run, you want me to run this against this against this. It ain't going to run. Not going to do it. But I mean, maybe it will. I'm just thinking, Mike, how can we not
Well,
say this?
you know,
How, you want to know what?
I think.
How in the world can the Pigeons not come home? Now, the trainer at that race, I ain't never been to Florida Pigeon Derby, but I'm going to tell you something. He's outdoing every race in the United States. And you got to give this guy a round of applause. The grounds look beautiful. His internet feed is good. He's showing the pigeons. He watches our stuff, takes it, and he uses it. But at least he does it, and he does it damn good. So I'm fine with that. And I looked at the quality of the pigeons. But then I look, and I go snoop around on the internet, eh? And I look and I say, well, if you just keep going and buying great grandchildren's and nothings, it's nothing. Great grandchildren's and nothings are nothings. And we're not even talking about great grandchildren with European rings. We're talking like great grandchildren, like 5, 10 generations down from anything. I just don't know if the birds have the quality. There's birds in the race that have the quality. But I think there's a lot of pigeons there. I think a lot of people are playing on a good hope and a dream. And they're putting so much money out to these races.
Well,
you don't win.
I talk to people and they say, well, you know, this is Jansen bloodline background, Jansen, and it's got some Hubens in there, and Catrice's bloodline, and that's 50 years ago. So whatever these people are talking about, that's stuff that was then. That's not stuff that's now. You know, evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You can't come to me to the club at the racetrack and say, I got a 1969 Shelby and I'm ready to go. And I got 5 Shelbys at home. I'm ready to go. And you got a modern day Toyota. Will just blow the doors off that 1969 Shelby, which at that time was it was the hottest machine on the road. But time has passed, and I think people got to get it out of their head. Well, I got a Stickable family, and I got a Huben family, and I got a Jansen family. That's my base. Jansen Huben family. That whole family is dead, man.
Hold on. So, Mike Vandiak, and let's listen to this one. And I'm going to, maybe again, I've worded the question wrong. Mike Vandiak says this. Most backyard lofts would expect 100% returns on the day from 300 miles at 390 meters a minute. Do most backyard lofts have 100% better pigeons than what they are being sent to the OLRs? I don't believe that. Well, I know when you send them to a one-loft race, you're so-called, and Mike, I think that was good what you put.
I think Mike has a good point there. I think Mike's saying that even on a regular combine at 100 miles, 125 miles, if they put 30 birds to that race, I think what Mike's saying is he wouldn't expect
No.
like
No,
325 miles.
wrote,
That's
he
no
wrote,
joke. He wouldn't
he wrote,
expect them all to
he
make.
just, listen, he said most backyard lofts would expect 100% returns on the day from 300 miles at that speed. Yes, I think I don't know, they would,
No,
you would,
hold on a minute.
you would,
Any backyard loft to say that at 325 miles, I'd have to say, who are they? What?
okay,
Are you an idiot?
I just,
You put
I,
30 birds in at 325 miles. You're not going to get 100% return on that day. I don't even care if it's a blowhome,
okay. What I'm saying is, I think people send the birds, right? They're sending birds.
right?
They're just sending birds. That's it. I think the quality is way off. I think the
And
quality for
I
200
think,
mile racing, 200 mile racing, I think if that same race was 350 miles and they were at 1800, they would have all come home in an hour and it would have been great. But if there's now, I notice in American one lofts, once those pigeons drop into the magic number 13, it starts to do this. When it drops into 12, it starts to do this. And after 12, by the way, it's a train wreck catastrophe. That's the word of the day, catastrophe. That's because either A, the pigeons aren't in the condition, or B, the pigeons don't have the quality. Remember, 200-mile
okay,
pigeons is different than 300-mile pigeons. I got some comments. Let me put a
okay,
couple
just hold
comments
on.
in.
Hold on a minute. Okay, hold on. About condition. Okay. The better quality pigeons hold condition better than the poor quality pigeons. I believe it. You take pigeons with higher quality, and let's say you had a whole group, the higher quality and the less quality, and you don't train at all. The higher quality pigeon maintains his body muscle tone, weight tone, everything else. I've seen pigeons in quarantine where hundreds of pigeons I've handled. And some pigeons in quarantine, they get just like fat, chunk, heavy pieces of like good
All right.
for meat. But
So,
then other ones, they get fed the same. They keep lean. They keep in some kind of form, even
just,
though they're not flying. They're just built, and what that is, that's quality in built in to the bird.
okay, I gotta read some comments. Quality birds will always have a higher probability of breeding qualities racers. Okay. Nelson Pigeon says a lot of people buy the names and too far away from the winning birds. That turns into breeders, right? I like that too. With the large losses of birds in the OLRs, it eventually going to hurt the sport. Well, yes. And Mike Vanderyak says pigeons flying home on a race day is nothing like running a horse in a horse race. Actually, Mike, it's 100% the same thing. It's the same thing as a guy getting on the bicycle and riding the Tour de France. It's the same thing as a guy going out and running a triathlon, Mike. A race is a race, whatever you want to, however you want to call it. Actually, let's get rid of the horses and the people, and let's just say, hey, I'm going to race a go-kart against a Ferrari. Let's see how I'm going to do. Common sense. Is it 100% exactly the same, Mike? No. The question is, why in the world would you compete against guys that are spending good money on thoroughbred pigeons, and you're going out there and buying one off a 4-year-old pigeon that somebody's getting rid of on another auction site, a 3-year-old pigeon someone's getting rid of. Your buddy's got 7 birds, you need an extra hen, and he's getting rid of those that weren't no good. And I think there's a lot of those types of pigeons being bred, mixed around in the soup bowl, sent to these races. They look good, the backs are strong, all that crap. But deep down, when you ask them, can you give me 350 miles flying 1200s? You see it. The birds crash and burn. Now, the birds are crashing and burning because of the one-loft handlers, because the one-loft handlers are learning. We don't take them out when it's any bit of toughness. Because if there's toughness, crap that just doesn't have anything will not come. But if you give crap a nice tailwind or an easy day, crap will come home. Or not crap, pigeons of a lower grade. Not to offend people that don't have high mocked up pigeons or whatever you want to call it. You know, but I kind of look to, and I'll use Ian. I can use Ian for an example. I watched Ian Sybil come to our race and beat everyone. He beat guys that had pigeons for 20 years. Mike, Ian twisted you and broke you in half like you weren't even sitting there. And he didn't do it 1 year on luck. He did it 2 years and 3 years. And I'm not knocking you, Mike. I'm not knocking you. You got good pigeons there, Mike. But I don't know how Ian Sybil did 3 years in a row and did Nick Fan's race. Destroyed that one too. I know one thing. I took Van Zuren down to Ian's. And Van Zuren, he gave much respect to Ian. What a nice selection of pigeons you had. He liked the conformation. He liked the feel of the pigeons. But the best part was the pigeons are producing for Ian on his combine. He's one of the best. And the pigeons win for him in the money races. I'm using one guy. Now, I take a look at Big Andy. Just take a look at him. He just won $100,000, didn't he? Or $75,000. He didn't go there with some ballpark shit. No. It's all Yelly Rosier's pigeons. It's all the best. He didn't walk in there with a pile of shit and went to battle. He didn't do that. Now, does he win every race? No. But he got up into the top, didn't he? So I think when you're looking at it, ask yourself, like it's like I say, if I say to Ian, put birds in these races for me, I automatically feel like I'm going to war with real bullets instead of what we used to have, or going out and buying a $150 pigeon here and a $150 pigeon there that have no results. The pedigree is not lit up at all with any results. And that's just where I'm looking. Are we blaming the one-loft races, or is it just the people love to send a whole bunch of birds? Maybe it's the people's fault. There's a lot of ways to look at it. So, Mike, please don't take anything too personally. Go ahead, Ricky.
Well, yeah, I agree on what you're saying there, Ryan. But I do think, though, half the time people, before they send their young birds, they don't play around with them. They don't, stress them out type thing. I think it's very important that you take those young ones when they're like 3-4 weeks old and get them stressed out. Put them in baskets, make them drink out of a basket.
Listen,
If you have dowling on the side, do stuff, switch them around, put them in your car, stress them out. How many people don't do that? And I think soon these birds go into a one loft, they get just dropped in, and they just those birds. They don't. It's called stress.
No,
and stress can put
no.
those birds a month behind. Once
No.
they're behind a month,
Okay, I know
they
that.
got no chance.
What I'm saying is these pigeons that went to 270 miles, they already did this shit. They played the game. Now we go to 350. That's hard. Not saying that's easy, but I just watched too many pigeons wobble and crash, and I don't know why. The guy gave them over, I think, 11 days rest. They had more than enough time to rest up. He had them out to 270, and they come nice. They come good. I mean, he still lost 1,100, but that's just lack of quality of pigeons. I think this is what it comes down to. Now,
Yeah,
uh,
I know. Yeah, I believe in what you're saying. You could take human beings, and some guy whines that he's working 6, 7 hours a day, and I worked every day, but then you get other breeds of humans that work 16 hours a day for 40 years of their life. The other guy, he'd pass out. I know what you're saying. It's
okay,
yeah, yeah,
Don Don Meredith says blood means everything, just like raising good dogs. Blood means everything. I think. It's funny. I can't tell my breeders, "Hey, I brought you some birds from Canada, all right?" They'll stop me right in my tracks and they'll say, "What are the pedigrees? What's this? What's that?" And it'll be very quick and fast. Nope. I've had people ask me, "Why don't you bring North American pigeons to Belgium to sell them?" When the European looks at me when I say
no,
that, guess what you get? You get, like, if you ever say such something so stupid again, you won't be back here. You know what I'm saying? You can just see,
yeah,
why would we want lower grade? And you know, we could take, you know, CBS, and you could take Mike Gannis, and you could take Big Andy, and you could take the big sellers, Ken Easley. You could take these big name guys in the U.S. One thing stays the same: they continue to bring in new young pigeons, right? New young pigeons. Gannis does it. Andy does it. Ken Easley does it. They bring all the superstars in, or they bring the supers the closest they can get. Some of them can bring in a little more money. Some of them bring in a little less. And there's a lot of other guys that do it. I'm just dropping a few names. I wonder why. Why don't they just rely on the shit they bought 10 years ago? Why don't they rely on the shit they bought 20 years ago? Why? Chris Clarebot, I was at his house the other day. We looked at two birds he got from Stefan Lambrechts. They're 12s out of 10s. I don't know how much the man paid for them. He bought them off a Chinese auction site. He bought them in, yeah? I said, you're a national winner. What did you buy these for? I need better. I need the best. I have to have the best. If I don't fly the best, I'm never going to continue to be at the top. So I often wonder, people with all these pigeons, 50, 60 pigeons at home, 70, 80, 100 pigeons, are you getting them? Are they good pigeons? Are they just pigeons? And you're trying to play these games and throw, what do we say? Throw shit at the wall and hope it sticks. And you are going to get lucky in a race. We could say that Andy just got lucky this weekend, but I've seen him fly in enough races. He has birds that get to the top more than a lot of people's names that I see. And I'm using this. Hopefully he's okay because he just had a massive surgery, but I'm just using it as an example. We got another couple comments. Mr. Mike Vandriak, he's always on the bar here. Backyard lofts are clocking brothers and sisters to the birds they send to the one loft races, but the percentages returns are very different. So now, Mike, is it because the one loft race isn't as good? That's a question I have. My next question from Mike is, what about LMR's story, where he started the season with 10 birds? After the entire season, he still had 10. Not many OLRs do that. Okay. And Mike Vaniak says again, pigeons are homing, horses are racing. Pigeons are homing, and horses are racing.
So I think what
You
Mike's
think the
saying
horse
is,
knows? You think the horse
okay,
knows
wait.
when he's racing? I don't know.
Well, no, he gets a guy on his back and the guy whips him. Then the horse starts the race because he's getting whipped. So, but it'll be the horse that will race the best getting whipped. Well, if you take a donkey or a mule onto the racetrack and you whip it, how will that thing race against another horse that is a thoroughbred racehorse?
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That the thoroughbred racehorse has that spirit. And I actually found that out years ago when I was invited to ride a thoroughbred horse.
I'd have loved to
Like I
seen
was
that.
like 16 years old.
Okay.
And I had a lead pony, a lead horse. This horse was only there to lead the race horses out.
Okay.
And I thought my horse was something else. Well, I got onto this thoroughbred horse, and it was actually bought off the track because it wouldn't do what it wouldn't race. And my goodness, you will not believe this horse. It flew just like a feather in the wind. It was incredible. So that's, again, bred. They're breeding those horses to race, to do that job. If you can't do it, it's gone. And
But hold on.
what's his name?
Yeah,
My friend.
these are all good points. Like, I'm not knocking Mike. I know the one-loft race is different. I know that.
But I'm going to tell you, the birds,
There's some reason why these birds are struggling
with headwinds, no wind, they struggle. Maybe it's the
one-loft guys. Maybe that's what we should say. But in the same token, there's still 1,100 birds that could do it on the day.
and 70
Miles or 60 miles shorter last week. 2,700 made it on the day. A little bit shorter, almost the same speeds. I don't know. We have a comment here. No, but I think there is so many variables in the race that genes do not make that much of a difference. It's mostly random. That's a good point. It is. It could be mostly random. And again, if you think about it, and I'm going to take this man's comments here. Let's take this for an example. On that race, there is 1,100 pigeons that could do 300 miles, 350 miles. I wonder if we run that race another 3 times,
what we will have left.
and then the pigeons you have left at the end of that, those ace pigeons. Now, those are pigeons that deserve $100,000.
Those are pigeons
Pigeons that deserve it. But we're still in this phase of it's a short series of races, and then they have a big grand finale, and I get that. They're
I don't know.
I'm still
I think you take those pigeons after two or three times to 325 miles, and then take those same birds to 450 miles. Watch what you got left. That's the cream. That's the cream of the crop.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to rip on the one-lofts, and I'm not trying to rip on the breeders. I don't think anyone's going to know the answer. But I notice once there's any type of struggle on the race,
All the birds? Not all the birds.
but there's a 70% of them, they wobble and crash.
That's telling
Me something in the quality of the birds. And we're not talking, and Mike will tell you, 1,390, it's a cake walk. It's easy, man. It's not easy, but it's come on, you can come a little better than that. You got to come. You got to make sure you're there on the day. Come at the end of the day, but be there. When you're down under 1,200, okay, now we're starting to, this really is a different beast we're looking for. And if they hit under 11, Well, then you got the pigeons that can really focus and really push it out. So, Robert Hamilton from Australia says hello. I'm going to let everyone collect their thoughts for a moment. I want to throw these few little tidbits up. We have our Pioneer one-loft race. Guys, we got 9 breeders signed up. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. For the amount of work we did last year, come on, guys. Everyone owes us a team on this one so we can redeem ourselves and get back going for a good season. So get your teams in on this one. Birds are going to start coming in shortly. I'm shaking my head at this. Come on now. And what else did I want to show? Oh, I wanted to show this too. We got right now running one of the. Oh, hold on. I'm just listening here. One of the best one-loft producers in the world, Philip and Nicholas Norman. They have a small collection here of some super pigeons, and not only this, there is 2 pigeons in this sale from a cock bird that is from 2007. I'm going to show him here momentarily because on the tour, he was on that tour. We also have Eric Limburg, one of Belgium's very, very best. Again, these are grandchildren. This one's going to be a bit tough. But again, still, the quality of these grandchildren, when I handled them, they were 12s out of 10s. This is just a small introduction to Eric Limburg. Great to try out. Again, down from some of his best. But I'm going to pull up, here's a video of, is this it here? Nicholas Norman talking about a 2007 cock. Just listen, guys, and enjoy the show. So this is the last son of Zorro. Yeah. Give me a little explanation on Zorro.
Yeah, Zorro is father and grandfather from our best line. So 80% from the bloodline Zorro is inside our pigeon. So he is. He was a very good racer also. He made 3 times top results, national and international flight. I think, yeah, it's one of the most famous breeders you have in Belgium for sure. And yeah, if you say the name Norman, I think Zorro comes like that.
Zorro, killer pigeon.
And Zorro would be related to?
Zorro is a matter of fact the old Catrice line. Yeah. So yeah. My grandfather bought some pigeons from Catrice.
And also relation to Wolverine, correct?
Yes.
This would be
the grandfather from Wolverine.
Grandfather of Wolverine, right there.
And the son is Abraham. So Abraham is father
and guys,
father and winner.
We have two direct children from this pigeon. What do you think of them?
Beautiful. For the ages.
2007.
Yeah.
Doesn't look it.
Nice.
It's strange. He is still first.
Remember, I asked you last year. I says, can you get a baby out of him?
Yeah.
You should see.
Are nice.
They're not nice. They're 12 plus.
12 plus rotation.
Very. For me, it's a little bit strange. It's my first pigeon that's the age of that. He's still 30, so 17 years old.
You've got him paired up now? Is he paired?
Yes.
Eggs?
Huh?
Eggs now?
Not eggs for the moment, but she will lay.
Any day.
Yeah, I have already youngsters from him.
Yeah?
In the first round.
There you go. There you see from
a 2007 cock. It feels like $1 million.
You know? Ricky, you still with me there? Or did
you fall off the tree?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
So,
very, very nice.
Yeah, 2007.
I mean, that pigeon there, you can feel him. He's just like the seagull, but he's not as big as the seagull, but the same build. The seagull's a 2009. That's 2007. And it's so funny when we selected the pigeons, we picked
We picked. See,
When you go to the Normans to select pigeons, you don't bring you out a basket of pigeons. You have to go in the room, and there's 3 sections maybe of 200 youngsters, late breds. That's when you start to pick. And you pick with them, you look, no pedigrees, there's nothing, eh? No, there's no pedigrees. It's, we pick, we like these 12, now let's go look at the pedigrees. And we picked, well, I didn't know, but there were 2 in there from him, and we picked them both from that cock. That's how nice he was. So, he's the children from him is, one is in the match pair, and one is lot number 1. So you guys got 2 shots for those. Again, if you guys like Wolverine is from Nicholas and Philip Norman. Mike Gannis turned that pigeon into a superstar, but that pigeon turned Mike into the superstar. Took him up to another level. Never won a one-loft race. Those pigeons, those are the whole Hard family Catrice pigeons, but it was evolved. Hold on, we got some more questions. Nelson says, I believe that club races harder, put more time, and feed as I think is best. OLRs, everything is the same playing field. If you send your best birds that fly in your club and combine. Now, I definitely agree. If you're sending to one-loft races, you better be sending out of your best in your club and your combine. You better be. That's the first thing you should be doing. I think if you're not, you're just going backwards. But isn't it like, I still think then when it comes down to the more same level, you need even better blood. Like you said, they all feed the same. There's no special treatment. They're not out there working the birds hard. You need pigeons that are even better. And that's where I say, and how many guys honestly send birds to one-loft races that shouldn't even be sending birds? They're in it because they're supporting it and they're having fun, but they're getting upset because they're dumping a lot of money out. I think there's a lot of guys doing that. A couple more comments. The birds that overeat will never do well in one-loft races. Absolutely. You know one thing, Ricky, I always get here in Belgium and in Holland? There's one thing I never see. I never handle a bunch of fat pigs. I don't handle fat pigs. I don't get ever that excuse given to me either. You know what I mean?
So they're feeding right, and also the genetics of the birds. They don't gain, right? That's what I said before. Yeah. Some birds are just eat. Other birds, for some reason, they can eat, but they don't. They hold their form, right?
Right.
Their chemistry.
Okay. So Mike, I love these little comments, and it is cute. It's kind of romantic. Me and Mike are gonna flirt now again. So, oh Mike. He says, if a horse doesn't know it's in a race, the jockey soon reminds him. You're right. And if you're pigeon, you don't take it down the road and let it out. It just sits at home, doesn't it? Doesn't it, Ricky? You ever see a pigeon go to a race?
Well, that's it.
On his own? Come on, Mike. Let's be cute. Hold on. Mike Green says, we got some more comments. You have to keep adding quality birds or you will be left behind. And I want to give a big shout out to Mr. Mike Green. I think Mike had a moment on the weekend because I know throughout the year Mike has been eyed up the Chris Clarebot and Willie Daniels auction, and he had to go through a lot of auctions with a lot of pigeons that he liked, and he held back, and he really dropped the hammer, and he got some super nice pigeons. There was a couple I wanted you to get, Mike. I'm not going to call out your username online, but I really wanted you to get that number 3 in the Willie Daniels sale. The number 3 at the Willie Daniels sale sold for $1,500 yesterday night, and the full sister sold for $5,000. Me and Chris, we were going back and forth which one we liked better. I said I liked the cock a bit better just because he had a little nicer length. They're both in the high 10s or in the high 9s. But Mike, you did real good. You're gonna jump up. So congratulations on what you got. I've seen you posted some nice photos, which is super. I know Chris and Willie wanted me to thank you. And hey, they will be on our next Pigeon Boss tour. I'm going to make sure of that. So if you guys want to meet Chris Clarebot and you want to try and learn how to speak Pigeon with Willie Daniels, there's no problem. Ray Sheeran, hey, let's give a big shout out to Ray Sheeran because Ray has done very well in one-loft races. And I know Ray's got some birds from us. I know Ray buys a few different pigeons. And I think Ray does. Ray's, again, a guy that I see him up there. So congratulations, Ray. Ray writes this, and this is a guy flying one-loft races, and he's won some. So Ray's not going to tell you he's the best, but Ray has definitely done some winning. This is what Ray thinks. I think I want birds that are racing home. Thank you, Ray. You understand what's going on. What does Mike Vandriak say? Back to Mike. Horse is spelt after I race. A pigeon comes home from 200 miles and could just as easily keep flying for another 200 miles. Well, when he won the Preakness or the Belmont, he jogged out another half a mile and he set another record. So he wanted to keep running too, Mike. Mike, again, we could just go on to nonsense about that all day. It's pretty good, Mike, but according to Mike, pigeons aren't racing, they're just cruising around. That's what I think Mike's trying to say. Mike Parrish says hello. Mike Parrish, get your team in, Ray. I hope you're getting a team in. Mike Green, we know your team is coming in. Craig, where's your team? Rosedale Lofts. Rosedale. Ricky. Rosedale comes to the charge, and he says, genetics play a big role. A 100-mile sprinter is beating a 400-mile specialist in the Olympics. Thanks. Here is Heather Green. She says hello. Congratulations to you and Mike on some of your awesome purchases. Guys, here's the one and only Alfred from Combe Van Zoren. This guy's an Olympiada. It's funny, he's won some of the biggest races in the Netherlands. Well, he's won the biggest one you could win. He's the Olympiada champion, right? All distance. It's funny, he went to Koopman, or he's been to Arie Dijkstra, and they spent multiple big thousands. Free pigeons are just, why are they going to buy more top quality pigeons? I don't know. Go ahead, Ricky. I'll have a sip of drink and
what's this? Alfred saying something or no? What's Alfred saying?
It's when we sit at Alfred's house and we're having a drink, or when we're with Chris Clarebot. He says, "Oh yeah, I bought this pair for 9,000, or I bought this one for 21,000." You know, we're not talking. The dollars mean it's from what they wanted, and it's a proven, or it's right from direct children from. You know what I'm saying? I'm only using the dollars so you guys understand. They're not going out and buying
those
buying
people
low
aren't
grades.
They're not spending that money just to keep a friend happy. They want to make sure they got the quality. I know you and I there some years ago, where did we go? To Francis? I think it was Francis's place there by the airport.
Yeah, Verdun. Yeah. Verdun, and
yeah,
he had in that private room.
We went and showed us the birds, etc. Then he said, "Come on over here. Come on in this room, private room." I'm not going to say where the room was. On his property, He said they spent 10,000 euros for this pigeon. Super.
Right.
I mean, you just don't put that money out just for fun.
Well, hey,
you know,
just think about
when
it.
you can go to
Just-
local market, you go to local market and spend €5 and get a pigeon, right?
Listen, you could go to the local market and you could spend 100. No, you could spend 40 euros on a pigeon. Think about how many pigeons you could buy for 10,000. Right? Right. And we're not. I'm sure these markets
you might get a good pigeon, but how much shit you got to go through to find that bird?
100%.
Right?
Midas lost. I don't know where you're watching from, but please let me know. He says, "Love the show. Love the show, you guys. It's not easy to put on a show week in, week out. I appreciate the true efforts. Sometimes the show is hard to put together. We don't know where we're going down the road every week, but I just looked at the other day on the internet and I thought this was interesting to me. We always talk about we rip the one-loft races. But again, and I have the Europeans, they'll say to me, Ryan, there's one thing that you can do. You can make shit fly. Right? That's the trick in a one-loft race, is to make shit fly. Because, reminder, you can have, when you send your 5 pigeons to a race, you can send the 5 worst pigeons just on pure fluke. Just on pure fluke. All the nestmates you kept, each one 1 year race. Can you make shit fly? I kind of like that. I got a chuckle from that. And I don't mean the birds people send are shit, but look at this race that just went down. Man, there's a lot of pigeons that just couldn't hack it. Was it the fault of the race? I don't know. I'll probably get killed for this. I don't know. Ricky. I'm going to post up another video. You guys want to see another video?
Yeah, let's see it.
Look, you're going to hear now a little story about Mike Gannis. But hey, I didn't know this. I was just recording when the pigeon come up, and I let the story go. This is on the Pigeon Boss Tour. Enjoy and listen. Listen to the mistake that was made.
So this 6,000 pigeons, very good racer.
That's a half brother of Wolverine.
Yes. From 2014, the same father. Abraham.
I remember
Abraham is the
before my Guinness was here, we give him that pigeon.
No, yeah, he was still in the racing loft. He wanted to buy some pigeons, Mike Gannis, and he don't pick out that pigeon. And
luck for us.
In that,
You got luck again, yeah.
National and the first prize, and also very good results.
So you have to have luck in your life.
You do.
You go to go old.
It was meant
don't
to
have an accident.
What do you think? What do you think of him?
Yeah, this would work.
Yeah.
This will work.
This would work.
I like the nice white beak on him too.
Yeah.
The nice sear.
I have still one hen and one cock, half brothers and direct out of Abraham. Still 30. Yeah. 2014.
Steve's biting at the bit. Give me that damn bird.
That's a full bird there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Nice one.
So when you guys see Wolverine,
Yeah.
these are the guys that made it all. You imagine, eh?
Yeah.
One pigeon,
Mike,
all that noise. But hey,
Make his name.
these guys here.
We have more Wolverines here in Loft. Some people think no, we only want to have Wolverine, but it's like
You have
family.
That's true.
I explain you, Zorro is grandfather of that.
No, you have said enough.
It's like 80.
There you go. There. Missed
Very good.
the third national ace pigeon right there. But you
Well,
see again, that's all from that family there of Wolverines. Zorro, you have it all there. It's all in that little group.
yeah,
So
the background is all from that family, right?
that family, and you again, that's a 2014, very old pigeon. Bird feels like $1 million. Let's see. Rosedale says an error had occurred. Retrieving new Facebook comments. Okay, so let's see. I believe genetics play a big role with humans. You have different muscle tweaks, faster mixes, slower. I would be expecting a sprint track star to go out and beat a marathon runner in a marathon race, or vice versa. Now, if you guys are watching and you are on Facebook, please post in your comments so I know you're still on. But when you send to these races, I don't know. All the races, the finals are at 350 miles, so people should know what they're sending, shouldn't they? But again, I'd rather send a sprint pigeon to these races than send a real hard, long day, hard nosed pigeon because most of the races are going to turn up to be super fast and easy. Now, if you get a day like this, which wasn't really that hard, I expect even a sprint pigeon on this day to do it. One good crack at the whip, it'll do it. If it's a super quality pigeon, I think. I don't know. Ricky, what do you think?
Yeah, I believe 100% what you're saying. The pigeon's got that heart. A sprint pigeon will have that heart to go, right?
Yeah,
I believe it.
I think once, maybe not twice, but at least one good go, and maybe not. Again, how do we know? But as all these one-loft races, as they keep flying faster and faster, the quality of the pigeons goes down because once you give them a little bit of adversity, the pigeons fall apart. And that's because, again, a lot of them pick the days they want to do it. I don't know if the Florida race did it or they had it already picked for 2 months, but whatever. These Duvel beers, they're tricky to drink, Ricky. These beers here, these are 8.5%. Yeah, 8.5%. You can do one, no problem. When you hit the second one, you can already feel it, eh?
Yeah. The taste is good.
The taste is good, but I can already feel this beer come over you. Like it's like you've had 7 vodkas. You know what I mean? Unbelievable.
Yeah, but right now it's what, 2 o'clock in the morning there?
Yeah, I'm obviously a bit tired too. Mike Vandernack says most local lofts I visit in the winter have overweight birds, not top lofts. So most local lofts I visit in the winter have overweight birds, not the top lofts. Okay. Yeah, but Mike, how many of those regular lofts that you visit, they are out there and they're trying and they're participating in one loft races and they're putting $1,000 out or they're putting out $3,000 or whatever they're doing, and they're not playing with the right caliber pigeon. And again, this is detrimental. Well, we're running a one loft race. What are you telling people? I'm trying to help people get better, right? You want people to get better so they continue to play and they can win. I mean, again, you can look at Chrissy, you can look at Ian, you can look at Ray Sheeran. Geez, how many other people do I know that have spent good money on birds from us that I know? They winning. I don't know.
It's the chemistry of these birds.
That's right. You look at even Rick Fife. He won. What did he win? $9,000 at our race. 50% was Feathers Elite blood, or blood from Ian that he got from us. Length of a pigeon. I don't know. I mean, I'm taking a small sample size. Let's take a good hard look. And again, our race, our Pioneer race, it's very hard to make a judgment on because it's the closest to combine racing. It's the closest to, we're not flying for the picnic. We're flying real flying. Ours is a different race. But it's funny, we look at those races and you see ace pigeons flying to the top. I have to ask the question, Mike Vanderyak, I'm going to move you to Belgium. And I'm going to ship all your pigeons to Belgium. Free. Would you take them, or would you take the money on shipping the pigeons and go buy new pigeons? That's a good question. Mike Green says, I'm signing up for it. Love it. Love to meet Chris and Willie. Oh, Mike Green's coming on the tour. Hey, we are going to have a great tour. We're going to get a little outside the box. I'm going to shrink in the group down to 4 guys. 4 guys is better because the number one reason is we did it with 4 this time. And this tour, what was so good was you could talk to the breeder great. I think 7 guys, a little too much, Dad. You know what I mean? A little too much.
Yeah.
But I think 4 guys, 3 or 4 guys is a perfect number. You get to interact with the breeder. You get to handle the pigeons. And the great thing is the breeder's not overwhelmed with